In this video, I'm going to explain why an economy can experience inflation. There are two main reasons. Inflation, remember, is a sustained increase in the average price level. So it means that on average, the price of goods and services in an economy is going up. So when you go shopping, things on average are more expensive. And it doesn't necessarily mean that the price of everything is going up, but on average, the price of the basket of goods, something I've talked about in another video, is increasing. And there are these two main causes: demand-pull inflation and cost-push inflation. So demand-pull inflation is where you've got this sustained increase in the average price level because you have more and more demand in your economy. If we looked very simply and imagined there was one factory in an economy and we have some people, and that factory is supplying goods to these people here, and they're paying a certain price for the goods. Imagine if you suddenly have an increase in demand for the products coming from the factory. And now you have a very big increase in demand, but we're going to assume that the supply stays the same. So now you have a large increase in the quantity being demanded, and we'll assume that the supply is unchanged. If this is the case, we know that this will result in significant excess demand. So this means that the quantity demanded is a lot bigger than the quantity being supplied. And you know from earlier on in the course that if you have a lot more being demanded than being supplied, this causes an increase in the price. And if this happens in lots of instances in your economy, that you have a lot more demand and you have only a similar amount of supply, you're going to get demand-pull inflation. It might be that in that economy they can't supply more, they can't keep up with the demand, they can't build enough factories, enough businesses setting up as quickly as possible. It's too difficult, and therefore your supply is restricted and your prices will start to go up as a result of this, and this is demand-pull inflation. The other type of inflation, so we've done this first one, the second type is cost-push inflation. And this is where for businesses their costs start going up. So for example, the oil price might go up. And most businesses will be really affected by this. They might not be using oil in its raw form, but they're likely to be using electricity. And if the price of oil goes up and a lot of your electricity is being created using oil, that will cause electricity prices to go up. And overall, this causes the costs for firms to go up. And we know that if a firm sees higher costs, it's likely that they will have to increase their price. And again, we end up in the same situation, that the price is going up. And if this happens for lots of businesses, if their costs go up, lots of businesses will be putting their prices up. And in general, the average price level will see an increase. And if we have a sustained increase in the average price level, then we have inflation.